Thank you, Adrian. It was 238 days ago that Unai Emery's Villarreal faced off against Liverpool in the Champions League semi-final. Now Jurgen Klopp's side are Emery's third Premier League opponent in what is the 200th encounter between Villa and Liverpool in all competitions. Both are looking to secure a third consecutive league win as they try to reignite their Premier League campaigns following the World Cup break. With Liverpool having already lost more games this season than in 3 of the previous 4, this doesn't feel like these swaggering Reds of recent years, especially away from Anfield. That coupled with Villa being on a roll, having taken 9 points from 12 since Steven Gerrard's departure, point to a tight Boxing Day bout at a ram-packed Villa Park. I'm not sure we'll be served up with a festive treat of a game like Villa's last win against them. That was back in 2020. That was 7-2, but it promises to be a real Christmas cracker. And alongside me to pull it is the former England international Stuart Pearce. The teams are out, the atmosphere's fantastic, Stuart.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've had some great results and plenty of goals already today in the welcome back, if you like, to the Premier League, but certainly today this is some game in the calendar. I think it's a brilliant game, and both teams are teetering on. Liverpool need to catch up with the European places and get closer to Champions League. Villa have got the opportunity to bounce up a few places in the league, and even I don't think they can go above Chelsea. They're going to have to score a few goals, but they've got the opportunity to be certainly a lot closer to Europe.
Let's run you through that Villa team. Olsen is the keeper, Young, Concert, Mings and Dean across the back, Camara, Louise and McGinn in midfield, with Buendia and Bailey providing the support to Ollie Watkins. As for Liverpool, Alisson is the keeper. It's Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson, with Henderson, Fabinho and Thiago in midfield. Salah and Oxlade-Chamberlain providing the width, with Darwin Núñez, with 5 Premier League goals to his name, will lead the line for Jurgen Klopp's side. Liverpool are out there in their green kit today from top to toe. Shirts, shorts and socks. For Aston Villa, of course, as ever, away to our right-hand side, it's the traditional claret and blue. The man in charge of this kick-off is Paul Tierney. Twice previously he's taken charge of this identical fixture, both though at Anfield, both ending in victories for Liverpool. And of course VAR is present and back. First time I ever heard Jurgen Klopp encouraging the use of it on Thursday night after that game against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. Simon Hooper is the man who will be watching back on any VAR incidents at all. So immediately they've turned Villa around. The toss has been won by Jordan Henderson, and Villa love to shoot towards the Holt end in the second 45 minutes, but they're going to do that in the opening 45 here. A tactic not often employed at Villa Park, but we know that teams do it to Liverpool at Anfield. So a little bit of tomfoolery from Jordan Henderson on this occasion. And Villa Park is rocking this Boxing Day. Your feast of football on Talksport. We're more than halfway through. Have you got the stamina to stick with us? I hope you have, because Arsenal against West Ham is coming up when we're done. But first up, it is Aston Villa against Liverpool. A fixture which Liverpool have won here at Villa Park on no less than 15 occasions. It's the most they've taken at any away ground in the Premier League, very often by the scoreline of 2-1, for those of you who would like to have a little gamble. But it's Villa who will get us underway then, kicking from left to right in this opening 45 minutes. And immediately they have the ball at the edge of their own penalty area. A lot of talk, of course, about the absence today of Emi Martinez. Robin Olsen has conceded 7 goals in his last 145 minutes of Premier League football so far, so the pressure will be on him away to our left-hand side in the Aston Villa goal. But at the moment the ball's at the feet of Alisson away to the right, and Liverpool looking to build from the back with Robertson early on down this left-hand side. Little flick inside from Oxlade-Chamberlain. It does nothing apart from come to Douglas Luiz, and then McGinn with a lovely spin away from Jordan Henderson. Ball into the middle from Buendia, over the top for Watkins, who gets the first shot of the game away from just inside the penalty area, and Alisson goes low down to his right-hand side and makes the save.
Really unfortunate there, Watkins. The ball's bounced up, and as he's sort of come off the ground with both feet, he couldn't get enough purchase to really get power on it to beat Alisson.
Pressure there on Matip at the back from Aston Villa, who've started brightly here. They actually played 4 friendlies during the World Cup, were only victorious on one occasion, that was against Chelsea, but that's a lovely ball from Alisson to find Robertson into Darwin Núñez, lets it run towards Salah at the back post, and Luca Dini's there to put it out of play. And in the meantime, Olsen has had a collision inside the 6-yard box with Tyrone Mings, and both players down inside the penalty area. It will be a corner to Liverpool down the right-hand side.
Yeah, absolute top quality ball there from Robertson. We're right behind it in our commentary position. Just faded it like any good left back would do, curling it away from the goalkeeper. And the only thing that surprised me was Núñez sort of half left it rather than get a contact on it. He literally left it. Now, why would you do that if you're a striker in that position?
Well, it certainly caught out Tyrone Mings and Olsen, who clattered into each other inside the 6-yard area, and Mings looks to have come off worse here. He's still strewn on the Villa Park turf, probably about 2 or 3 yards away from the goal line, but you would have thought Núñez would have just tried to put his foot through it.
Well, it was incredible. I'm not sure a striker, certainly a striker with confidence, would let that go. Any striker in the world, I would suggest, would attempt to score themselves.
5 goals so far this season in the Premier League, of course, for Liverpool, following what was a rather prolific season for Benfica last year with 34 goals in all competitions throughout the campaign. The good news is Tyrone Mings is sat up and being attended to by the Aston Villa physios, but that dummy certainly caught out the keeper and Mings. Lack of communication between the two.
Well, I think White caught him out was I don't know why on earth you would turn the opportunity for a goal scoring effort down in the hope that one of your teammates might be behind you for a tap-in.
The goals have been one of our issues so far this season. At this stage last year they'd already scored 61 in all competitions, just the 50 this time round, of course. No Roberto Firmino today, he's absent from the squad through injury. We already know about the long-term issues they have with Diogo Jota, who's not expected back till February, and Diaz as well, who's provided a little bit of contribution at times. A knee injury for him, which will keep them out till March. In the Championship, a reminder, that game is over on Talksport 2 right now. Another one of the 10 we're bringing you live across the network today. They've been playing for 18 minutes there. It was a 5:15 kickoff, and it remains Cardiff City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Good news, Tyrone Mings is up and about. It looks like a knee injury.
Yeah, I think he's clattered his knee by the looks of it. I was too busy looking at Núñez's action in regard to it rather than the collision that happened just behind him. But what you've got to say is Mings got to leave the pitch now. This is going to be a bit of a problem if he has. No, he hasn't.
Well, I think the referee Portini is allowing him to stay and defend this set piece for Liverpool on that far side, just in front of the travelling support in the far corner of Villa Park, just next to the north stand, which is away to our left-hand side. And it's going to be Robertson who's going to deliver the corner from the Liverpool right-hand side. Matip and Van Dijk are lurking inside the penalty area. Of course, they'll be one of the targets. I'm sure it's swung into the edge of the 6-yard box. Watkins gets in with the first touch, and then it's cleared away well that time by Bailey, who tries to break forward. And Alexander-Arnold puts it back in. Robertson across to Salah! And Mo Salah scores for Liverpool inside the 6-yard area. It's 7-7 for Mo Salah. He doesn't miss from there. 3 yards out, and with just 4 minutes on the clock. Great ball in from Alexander-Arnold, helped on its way by Robertson, and Salah the poacher this time. He scored again against Villa, and it's Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 1.
As clinical a finish as you're ever going to get. 3 touches of the ball in the back of the net. Ball was cleared. Villa have started to clear the edge of the box, and as it come out to probably the worst man it possibly could, Trent Alexander, he's taken 2 touches and just hit it with the outside of his foot. 1 touch from Robertson across the face of goal, and Salah don't miss from there.
It's a terrific run by Robertson, isn't it?
I think the run's brilliant. Both fullbacks' contribution was brilliant. The easiest part of the ball was that the move was actually Salah poking it in the goal.
Well, Liverpool have the lead here then inside the first 5 minutes. Start we might see a change with Tyrone Mings, who's struggling from that knee. There's some activity down on the bench down this right hand side as well, and I think towards that goal Mings, his movement didn't look the best to try and recover as Liverpool were about to poach. Really nicely timed run by Robertson as well. Lovely goal from Liverpool, and this Boxing Day belter of a game is off to the perfect start. How can Unai Emery's side respond? Well, Olsen has just tried to put a long ball forward, and it's straight into touch on the far side.
This is what I like about Henderson. He has an effect on everyone, not just his own teammates, but the opposition as well. He's burst past the forward line for Liverpool, threatened the goalkeeper, put the goalie under pressure, and he kicks it out of play. Brilliant.
Down that left-hand side, where they're looking to get forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Luca Dean was the player striding forward, but it's out of play, and Trent Alexander-Arnold will have the throw on that right-hand side. Very little football for him, of course, over in Qatar. 43 minutes he played in that game against Wales, and that was about it. So he should be feeling fairly fresh as a daisy as Liverpool come forward again. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Nunez down the right-hand side, edge of the box, cutting it onto his left foot, goes again on the right, tries to get beyond Konsa, and in the end it's a good block from the Aston Villa defender, and it'll be cleared away from the edge of the penalty area by Camara up towards halfway, and Ollie Watkins, but it's put back into the danger zone that time by Joel Matip, and it's gathered by Olsen away to our left-hand side. Breakneck start.
Yeah, it certainly is, and quality defending there by Konsa. I've got to say, when you're in your own box and you're defending a striker who's running at full pace at you, you've got a problem. He done really well, stood on his feet, no panic.
Here's Buendia inside the centre circle as Villa look to respond. A goal behind already with 7.5 minutes on the clock at a packed out Villa Park, live and exclusive to national radio on Talksport. One of our 10 games today on Boxing Day. More to come later in the week. Lovely ball to Watkins, and a good save by Alisson, who came out to greet him, and now the offside flag goes up, but Alisson wasn't aware. I'm not sure Watkins was either, and a good save from the keeper.
No, Watkins has been through twice now, through the centre of the defence, threatening the back line, and on that occasion, just looking at the replay, he just went a fraction early, literally a fraction, and just enough to flag him offside.
Keeper stood tall. Alisson, of course, in that Brazilian squad at the World Cup as well. That's punted high into the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. Van Dijk away with a header. Thiago then helps it on its way out to this left-hand side to Robertson. Robertson trying to put that ball through, but it's intercepted by Luis. And now down this right-hand side, Bailey on the run, onto his right foot, gets the shot away, stings the hand of Alisson, but quite a comfortable save.
I think we've seen probably the difference between the two sides already in this game, and we're only 8 minutes in. One team ludicrously efficient in front of goal, Liverpool. Villa have probably had 2 or 3 opportunities to put the ball in the net and haven't taken one yet.
Henderson tries to get a ball through to Nunez, but intercepted by Mings. Liverpool gather possession again, just inside their own half with Van Dijk. And now Matip out wide to that right-hand side, where it's picked up again by Jordan Henderson, looking to come infield short to Salah. Salah back to Alexander-Arnold, who's 10 yards inside his own half on that right-hand touchline. Ball over the top. Nunez was offside. Oxlade-Chamberlain wasn't. Oxlade-Chamberlain in the box, tries to get his feet sorted to get a shot away, but Ashley Young is there to cover, and he gets it out. And they'll look to build from the back here, courtesy this time of Luis, but he's given it away again to Van Dijk on halfway. Here come Liverpool once more. Henderson out wide to this left-hand side, intercepted by McGinn. Trying to break through again is Luis, and the challenge from Thiago spins out of play, and it'll be a throw to Villa, level with the edge of the penalty area.
We've probably had about 5 or 6 efforts at each goal, and all the chances have come by balls in behind, either cultured balls or balls just flighted over the top of the back line for the likes of Watkins, who's made some great runs, and on that occasion it was Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Maybe explains Emery's decision not to play Danny Ings today, who's been in much better goal scoring form, but Watkins perhaps the better option against Liverpool?
I think so, because of that movement, but the rest of the players have got to be in tune and look to play that ball in behind for him.
10 minutes played on Talksport at Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 1. Here's the goal scorer, Mo Salah. Gets it out to the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold back into Henderson. They exchange passes, the two England colleagues, of course. It's Alexander-Arnold again, who swings the ball out to this left-hand side, where he finds Robertson. Robertson ahead of him has got Oxlade-Chamberlain, but instead goes back to Virgil van Dijk. A big moment for Andy Robertson with that assist for that goal. That's his 54th in the Premier League. Takes him ahead of Leighton Baines as the most assists from a defender in Premier League history. And a good assist it was too.
It's interesting, he's down for the assist because he had the final pass, but I think we all know in football the assist probably come from Alexander-Arnold, the pass before.
Here's Van Dijk from the edge of his own penalty area. Fabinho Gets it across to Henderson. Wide on the right-hand side is Alexander-Arnold on halfway. Again, trying to put a ball in round the back for Darwin Núñez to chase, but it's safely gathered by the Swede Olsen at the edge of his penalty area, who can just take a moment and take a sting out of a game that's being played at a tremendous pace so far.
It has been a top quality start to the game, I've got to say. You know, we're just over 10 minutes in, and already we've had a host of chances at both ends.
We're also seeing some sloppy players. Possession's given away again to Liverpool on that right-hand side. Thiago has it on halfway. Van Dijk, of course, missed the game on Thursday night against Manchester City, having played a full part, of course, in the World Cup for the Dutch. And his penalty saved by Emi Martinez, who missing today for Aston Villa, but he's back training after the celebrations from the World Cup victory.
Just looking at this Villa lineup, I mean, in certain times you look at it and it's a 4-4-2 basically. We weren't sure it was going to be as clear-cut and as clinical as that.
McGinn's tracking here down this left-hand side. Robertson plays a ball in first time, and it's going to be run out of play down this left-hand side, and it is, and it'll be a goal kick for Aston Villa. You're listening to Aston Villa against Liverpool on Talksport with Now Sport. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports 18 plus, stream via the internet, and terms apply. 12 and a half minutes played at Villa Park. Liverpool are in front. As we said, they've won their last two in the Premier League, looking to record 3 in a row for the first time in this campaign, which feels almost unheard of. But they've got some defending to do here now down the left-hand side. Buendia, early ball in. Watkins leaves it. Bailey with a chance. Scuffs his shot up in the air. It loops into the arms of Alisson. And again, another clear-cut opportunity for Aston Villa to get themselves on terms.
Well, once again, as I say, it's just the clear-cutness in front of goal that has put Liverpool in front at the moment, because to be fair to say, Villa have probably had more chances.
Yeah, they certainly have, but Liverpool have the advantage, courtesy of Mo Salah's goal. And Leon Bailey, who has suddenly just started to repay some of that £25 million paid to Bayer Leverkusen. Just 4 goals in his 32 Premier League appearances so far, but 3 of them have come this season, and he was instrumental in the Aaron Danks victory here against Brentford following the departure of Steven Gerrard. Liverpool with some really nice football midway inside the Aston Villa half. Fabinho out wide to the right-hand side, where Trent Alexander-Arnold is waiting. Matip, who to my eyes appears to be the only one who's donned his gloves for this Boxing Day fixture. It's not that cold, is it? Oh, you've got gloves on too. I hadn't really noticed.
I'm a Southern Softy. Anyway, I'm one of those.
Salah on that far side looking to come through down that right touchline. Nukadim with a really nice tackle from the floor. And here's a chance for Boubacar Kamara to get forward. And it's out of play on the far side for what will be a throw to Aston Villa. We've had 14 and a half minutes. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 1 on Talksport. A reminder coming up once we've done another one of our live and exclusive to National Radio Premier League commentaries. That's Arsenal against West Ham. That's an 8 o'clock kick-off tonight, while over on Talksport 2 right now it's Cardiff Queen's Park Rangers, and then Luton will take on Norwich later. Again, 7:45 that's underway. The two 27s come together at the edge of the penalty area on the far side, the left-hand edge of the Villa box, as Núñez and Dean clash, and it's a free kick that's gone the way of Aston Villa. And Mings, who seems to have shaken off that knee knot, will get things back underway for Unai Emery's side. Of course, the 51-year-old with a win rate of over 58%. He's got a terrific record over the last few years, of course. We all know about his accolades in the Europa League. It's what Villa want, and 2 wins from 2 in the league so far. Perfect for him, but they're behind here, and Thiago is coming forward down this left-hand side. Oxlade-Chamberlain into Henderson, will try and keep it in, but that's well out of play. No need for the VAR like we saw in the Japan game at the World Cup. That was 2 or 3 balls out, and it's going to be a goal kick to Aston Villa.
I think that was more in than the Japan one.
You're probably not far off, to be fair. It's Villa who will look to just try and build an attack. Thiago in with the challenge. Right start of the campaign for Thiago. Hamstring and ear infections have hampered his campaign so far in that much talked about Liverpool midfield, which some say is maybe past its best. However, plenty of time left in this campaign for Liverpool to push on, but I think what you said earlier, Stuart, about the best they can probably manage is Champions League, just based on the way the others are performing right now. Lovely ball here for Villa, out wide to the right hand side to McGinn, on his left foot, into the 6-yard box, diving header straight into the arms of Alisson. Well, it was a lovely ball swung into the box, and Watkins got on the end of it, but not much power in the header, and Alisson makes the comfortable save.
Well, it's really difficult to know what to say. It's Watkins once again. His movement in behind's brilliant, but I've got to say his finishing has got to be better than that.
Just 1 goal in 12 in the Premier League so far. Here's Oxlade-Chamberlain into Nunez. He should put that away at the edge of the 6-yard box. Then the flag does go up, though. It wouldn't have counted had he. But again, Oxlade-Chamberlain's looking lively down this left-hand side, creating an opportunity for Darwin Nunez. But on this occasion, the flag's up.
Well, I'll probably turn round and say if the score was 3-2 to Villa at the moment, it wouldn't be outlandish, to be honest with you. There's been some great movements, and listen, we're just looking at the replay of that. He's literally 7 yards out from goal on a diving header and took all the power off the ball.
Yeah, straight into the ground. It probably bounced, about a yard in front of his head, and very comfortable for Alisson so far. He's had more saves to make, but all of them fairly routine away to our right-hand side in that Liverpool goal.
There's no doubt there's a tactic there. Every time they get it, they're putting it behind the back lines of each team at the moment. Liverpool doing it on that occasion.
There's Oxlade-Chamberlain down this left-hand side after really good work from Konza to deny a ball in to Nunez from Henderson. And it is Darwin Nunez down this left-hand side on his left foot, chips it towards the back post, has to be headed clear, and is headed away by Luca Dean towards the edge of the penalty area. Here's Robertson down this left-hand side. Was there a shot? There was from Douglas Luiz, and it will be a free kick for Liverpool about 30 yards out from goal to the left-hand side of the penalty area.
Yeah, I think both teams tactically, you can tell that, well, certainly from Villa's point of view, with the movement of Watkins, I know it's a natural part of his game to run in behind, but every time he's made that movement, they've got him in behind. So half of what probably Unai Emery's done and what he's looked at to hurt the opposition has worked. The other half is, you've got to put the ball in the net when you get in there.
And that's been Watkins' problem so far, and I mean, when you consider that the seasons he's had, 11 in the Premier League last season, 16 the season before, it's been quiet so far. Just the 2 goals to his name to date in his 14 appearances. Did get a hat-trick here, of course, in that infamous 7-2 game. And Robertson is okay. I think he's doing his lace up after what looked like a fairly innocuous challenge from Douglas Luiz, but he's certainly got up a little gingerly. Alexander-Arnold is over the top of this free kick, and Robertson, so the 2 fullbacks will discuss the plan. The high line is quite high up at the edge of the penalty area here for Villa.
Yeah, it's perfectly set up for Robertson's left foot to just leave it around the penalty spot, maybe just beyond that with a bit of outward curl.
They're going to be relying on Nunez and Van Dijk to arrive from distance. Matip's gone in towards the edge of the penalty area. Robertson with his right hand in the air from out on this left-hand side. It's his left-footed ball in, swung towards Salah, is it? It was going up for it. Matip got there first. It was looking for Salah, I think, but the flag was up immediately, and that's going to be a free kick for Aston Villa. Yeah,
a free kick, something like that, really, that's curling away from the goalkeeper, tempts him out. And I'll tell you what, the Aston Villa line was very fragmented, and I'd like to see who heads this. Yes, maybe just off, but the line was really poor from Villa.
Joel Matip was the player who got his head on it in the end, and Aston is just taking a moment. I think there was a quick check to make sure it was definitely offside. It was, and the kick will be taken by Olsen down in front of us. We've had 20 minutes on Talksport. It's Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 1. Mo Salah with the early goal in the 5th minute of this game, set up by good work by Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson, and it's that goal at this moment in time that separates these two sides. The 200th meeting between them. Exactly 100 wins in all competitions for Liverpool against Aston Villa, but 31 wins in the Premier League, 15 of which have come here. Looking for 16 tonight and currently in pole position That's forward down this right-hand side towards McGinn, who is a little more advanced this time round, but Oxlade-Chamberlain picks up the ball. Infield he goes to Thiago, and then Henderson will shift it quickly to the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold slides a ball between Dean and Mings, trying to bring in Nunez, but really good defending from Mings, but that's sloppy from Luis this time, and Alexander-Arnold chases down, and Young will give it to Olsen, who can clear first time, but that's really sloppy from Douglas Luiz, and not for the first time in this game.
Yeah, it was a little bit loose in there. He sort of plays things blind a little bit, or takes too long on the ball, and Trent Alexander saw the opportunity to press. He pressed one, then he pressed Ashley Young's back pass, and then all of a sudden the goalie was in a bit of trouble.
Reminder, not only are we hooking you up with 7 Premier League games today, but we've got 3 more over the next 2 days as well. Chelsea against Bournemouth is our 5:30 kick-off tomorrow, followed by Manchester United against Nottingham Forest, and then on Wednesday night it's Leeds against Manchester City, all exclusive to National Radio and all live on Talksport. McGinn from the edge of his own penalty area, lifting it forward towards Buendia, comes to Fabinho inside the centre circle. And now Thiago, mastery, just watching Thiago at work as he pings a ball out from under his right foot to Henderson on the far side. His cushion header is towards Salah at the edge of the penalty area. It's half cleared though, and Alexander-Arnold will help it back to Matip. And now Fabinho on again to Henderson down that right hand side, who tries a little burst of pace to get away that time from Buendia. Fabinho back to Van Dijk. Liverpool very patient in possession, all in green. Away from the Holt end towards the north stand in the opening 45 minutes here, just to put Villa off kilter. Here's Salah, flicked on by Henderson, back to Henderson, into Fabinho inside the box, tries to create some room for himself, sets Salah away down the right hand side to the byline, attempts the cross, and it's well blocked out by Dean, and it's a corner on that far side to Liverpool.
I'm just looking at the match-up at the front end of Villa's team there. Watkins has got himself on Matip and either springing off him to go in behind him or receiving to feet, and Trent Alexander's pushing on a little bit to get involved with Buendia, and it's really important for the team that Watkins affects Matip either in behind or holds it up to set their attacks up.
Mo Salah's 7th Premier League goal of the season, what separates these two sides as we're beyond the midway point of the first half. Here's Robertson, swung in towards Van Dijk, who goes up for the header. He's penalised for the foul on Konsa in the process, and it'll be a free kick for Aston Villa and their chance to clear. It's currently Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 1, and for the latest odds head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Villa at 10-1 to win. The draw is 9-2 and Liverpool are 4-1 on. That's all thanks to Betfair. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Almost 24 minutes played on Talksport at Villa Park. One of our 10 live and exclusive to National Radio Premier League commentaries across these 3 days. The Boxing Day round of fixtures. We will have more for you in the coming weeks as well. Don't you worry about that. Kicking off on Friday the 30th, when we've got West Ham against Brentford and Liverpool in action again against Leicester, exclusively live on Talksport. Fabinho's ball down that right hand side, finds Henderson in towards the edge of the penalty area, was looking for Oxlade-Chamberlain, comes out to Robertson digs the ball in, Nunez with a header, just a little too high. Offside flag was up anyway, I think, and Nunez just puts his arm in the air, just couldn't direct the header downwards.
Yeah, Nunez he's probably just a fraction off at the moment, isn't he? You know, in everything that he's doing, he's a fraction off. He's so close to sort of getting on the end of things or making good runs, and just being caught offside or just not getting good contacts on finishes that he should. But listen, when he gets up to speed, I think he's going to be very effective in this league.
You saw him at the World Cup, of course. He just didn't quite look right there either, did he, in terms of...
No, you're absolutely right, and as I say, I watched a fair bit of him over the last season or so at his club, and I think he'll be a very effective Premier League player. It's just a case of keeping your confidence while things aren't going exactly right for you.
Konsa does really well there. He's played a pass while he was falling over and ended up on his backside about 10 yards outside his box, but he did keep possession for Villa and find Dean down that left hand side. It's back with the feet of the former Brentford man again, who's midway inside his own half. And they come full Villa to halfway, looking to try and find Buendia. Robertson goes in for the header, loses out in midfield. Here's Salah, crunching tackle from Mings. It's nicked away by Bailey, appeals for handball against Fabinho, and he's going to be penalised by referee Paul Tierney, who's going to give him a talking to as well, and maybe a card here potentially.
I'm not sure he was going to give a free. It didn't look as though he was going to give a free kick to start with, and then obviously all the protest. But what's happened is he's gone to ground. I don't think it was a dangerous challenge. He was off the ground, but I don't think it was dangerous. Then it skidded off his stomach and hit his hand, which that can't be deliberate, can it?
Well, he's given the free kick for something, whether it's the challenge initially, like you say, wasn't dangerous for sure, or whether it's the handball, but he did whistle, and Villa have got us back underway with 26 and a half minutes played here on Talksport. Stuart Pearce alongside me, Adam Bridge at a packed Villa Park on Boxing Day. Nothing quite like a bit of Boxing Day football. And we've delivered an absolute feast for you today here on Talksport, and we're not done yet. As Douglas Luiz charges forward down the right edge of the penalty area, and he wants the free kick. He slams the floor in frustration. Paul Tierney not interested, right in front of the whole 10. They're not happy either. And Villa trying to attack here at the edge of the box. They've got Liverpool penned in. Buendia, ball at feet. Luca Dean, back to Buendia again. Lovely back heel. Dean on the overlap, inside the area. Alexander-Arnold with a challenge. They all want a penalty. Referee's not interested, and quite rightly so, I think. And Alexander-Arnold gets in the way to Salah, and now potentially a counter on for Liverpool. Oh, it's poor defending from Konza, up in the air. Nunez on the volley at the edge of the penalty area. Wow, what a finish that would have been. But it's saved by Olsen at the edge of his 6-yard box.
I thought I had as much excitement as I could get in a World Cup final, but this one's just taken off from there. Incredible. So clinical by Liverpool. 3 passes, you're in behind, putting pressure on the back line, and once again Nunez has taken it first time from a ball that's come out the clouds that you'd never take first time. He's done brilliant to get it on target, but if you take a touch, you've just got the goalie to beat.
Konza and his desperate defending almost setting up Nunez, what would have been his 6th Premier League goal of the season, but not the best of connections, and a comfortable save in the end from Olsen. Wonderful atmosphere, wonderful game of football. Isn't it great to have the Premier League back? Here's Salah on that far side, back to halfway. Alexander-Arnold has it infield towards Matip, and here's Van Dijk now to the left-hand edge of the centre circle with plenty of time for Liverpool. Unai Emery has not really moved out of that technical area. He's right on the edge, gloves on, suited and booted. We've got Jurgen Klopp, who's in his traditional cap and tracksuit to the right-hand side, of course, with the long coat. He also is stood in the technical area, but not quite as much hand movement from Jurgen Klopp right now, who seems quite comfortable with the 1-0 win, 1-0 lead so far. Just getting a replay on the penalty appeal that they wanted from Luca Dean. Alexander-Arnold, no, not for me. Stuart's not even interested. Screw of the nose and a disgruntled shake of the head. Not having that in any way, shape or form. Here's Henderson. Back to Matip at the edge of the centre circle. 7 different combinations in that back line Liverpool have had this season. This is one that's only been used once previously. The Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson and Alexander-Arnold combo. Just the size maybe of the problems Jurgen Klopp's had with injuries, of course. Milner missing today as well with a hamstring that he felt on Thursday night, and as we mentioned, Firmino with a calf, and Curtis Jones missing with a shin as well. Oh, here's Salah in, sneaking in behind again, but Tyrone Mings alert to the danger, does really well there. Salah had just made the run between Dean and Mings, but Mings was alert, and he'll get it clear, the former Villa captain, up towards halfway, and Watkins, who's just held out the way by Matip. Clever defending from Joel Matip, but it's put into touch and will be a throw to Villa on the far side.
That's that interaction between those two that might hold the key to this game, you know. If Matip gets on top of him, it'll snuff out any problems potentially that Villa might have in setting play up and then playing the secondary in behind.
Villa with it as they look to build again down the right hand side with Ashley Young, 350th Premier League start. What a career Ashley Young has had in this division, of course, this Premier League, but also in the Championship for a period, and this time of course at Inter Milan as well. Gets the nod over Matty Cash today. An interesting decision by Unai Emery. Cash of course back from the World Cup, but as Stuart said earlier on, his dad says he's raring to play. First time ball over the top for Salah here. Salah's got the better of Mings this time, has he? Salah with a shot, and it's just wide of the left hand post. I thought he may have been a tad offside, but there was nothing from the assistant, but Mo Salah couldn't get his shot on target.
The quality of ball in behind the back line and how it's catching the back line of both teams out is quite incredible. Real good quality, playing balls in behind with a bit of curl on them, just enough to say your goalkeeper can't come and get it.
31 minutes played on Talksport. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 1. As things stand, 9 points worse off than they were at this stage last season. Liverpool third in the table, 31 points to their name, of course. Worst start to a Premier League season since the days of Brendan Rodgers back in 2014, 2015. But maybe with those 2 wins pre-World Cup and the way they've started here tonight, in terms of being in front courtesy of Mo Salah, just maybe we're starting to see some shoots of this team bedding down. Of course, still with a fair few absentees. Trent Alexander-Arnold has it on the far side. Clips the ball forward again to Nunez, but that's out of play for a try.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one for Jurgen Klopp to decode this sort of first half hour. He'll be delighted his team are in front. They've breached Villa's back line on several occasions on the road, which is great. But the other side of that is they probably conceded more efforts at their goal, albeit the odd one was offside.
A couple of years ago, the positioning of that back line of Liverpool was a hot topic week in, week out, wasn't it? Until I think they won the Premier League, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, actually, is it that much of a problem?
Yeah, I mean, from the angle we've got, I don't think that Liverpool are holding a high line, not as excessively as they used to. I just think that Villa's movement is causing them a problem.
And here's the movement of Leon Bailey towards the edge of the box, tries to snip a ball through the middle to try and find Ollie Watkins. He did it with the outside of his boot, but Matip had checked the run, and there was probably just a little too much on it, and Alisson can comfortably gather at the edge of his 6-yard box. Good play from Leon Bailey again, good link up, just trying to create and make things happen for Aston Villa. For all the opportunities, quite surprising after 32 and a half minutes, still only 1 goal in it. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 1, live on Talksport. Down the right hand side is Salah. Nunez, looked to me though he was offside, but he's in the penalty area. On his right foot, Nunez cuts it across towards Robertson. Wonderful stop coming in from Means, but then the flag is up. He was offside. But again, Stuart, you talk about confidence of a striker. He's laid it off to Robertson. Surely he's shooting from that angle.
Well, put it this way, if it arrives at Robertson's feet and he's got a tap in, then you turn round and say he's done the right thing. If it doesn't arrive at Robertson's feet, you've got to say to the striker, you've got to shoot there.
Just does look to be lacking in something, Darwin Nunez, as things stand. 11 and a half minutes to go to half time. A reminder later, London derby, big one as well. Leaders Arsenal against West Ham United, in need of the points at the Emirates. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff, and we'll be heading there straight after we're done here at Villa Park. Robertson takes a free kick for Liverpool, just down in front of us, about 15 yards inside the Aston Villa half. Here's Alexander-Arnold on that right hand side, back in once more to Matip and Van Dijk as Liverpool look to stretch play and work their way around. Thiago again just involved with a little one touch, and back to Van Dijk just to try and shift that midfield of Aston Villa out the way and to create some space. Here's Fabinho back to Alexander-Arnold again on that right hand side. Fabinho again, and now down that right hand touchline, the ball swung over towards Robertson inside the penalty area. Just too much on it, just over the top of the Scotsman's head, and he's done well to stop that going out for a goal kick. No, it has gone for a goal kick, and Villa will have a chance to clear away to our left hand side. You're listening to Aston Villa against Liverpool on Talksport with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Stuart Pearce is alongside me.
I think what Liverpool are doing particularly well, and obviously it's a tactic of theirs as well, they're pulling Villa around a little bit to free up Trent Alexander, and as the closer he gets to the Villa goal, you know full well he's got the passing range to put people in behind on a diagonal or a nice little faded ball in behind the back line.
A reminder, Talksport and Talksport 2 is your home of the EFL right now. On Talksport 2 it's Cardiff City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. That will be followed by Luton against Norwich in the Championship. The pressure on Dean Smith. That's live on Talksport 2 from 7:45. Don't forget you can hear that on your digital radio or by downloading the Talksport app, which believe me is the best thing to do, because then you can swipe between games and channels and you can hear every single commentary. The schedule's on there as well. Just get the app downloaded, particularly if you're being forced out sales shopping or visiting relatives in the coming days, because we've got a lot of live football coming your way. That's brilliant from Oxlade-Chamberlain, over halfway. Nunez is coming down this left-hand side. Salah's inside the penalty area. Nunez in the box on his right foot. Now he shoots, takes a deflection, and it was heading to Salah at the back post until Mings intervened, and that's out of play for a corner on the right for Liverpool.
Well, once again, good movement. David Luiz it was that went across. This is really close to being offside. I think he's offside there. The thing is, play goes on. It's a corner. If they score from the corner, they don't flag it back, but they should be. They should be looking at that now.
Alexander-Arnold with the corner this time on the right-hand side. So this is going to be an out-swinger. Nunez, Matip, Henderson, all lurking around the edge of the penalty area. Van Dijk, a lot of pushing as usual, as you expect inside the penalty area. A bit of holding, and Paul Tierney eventually says, look, I know it's Christmas, I know we all love each other, but maybe that's just a little bit too much. Peace and love to everyone. Here we go. Alexander-Arnold again from the right-hand side. It's a bit of a mismatch, Buendia against Virgil van Dijk. No wonder Buendia's upset about it already.
I think Buendia will call HR after this, you know what I mean? Say there's a bit of bullying going on in the workplace.
Alexander-Arnold swings it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, almost breaks to Salah at the edge of the 6-yard area. Van Dijk pokes it in, slight deflection, and into the far corner from Virgil van Dijk, and he doubles Liverpool's advantage. A second Premier League goal of the season for Van Dijk. It did take a slight nick as it bobbled around in that 6-yard area, but that's a clever little finish from Virgil van Dijk, and it's Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 2.
Right, let's just go back now to the new offside law. So Nunez is offside from the build up to this. His effort goes for a corner. From the resulting corner, the ball's in the back of the net. It's 2-0, potentially game over, potentially. I think that's where the offside law is wrong. They can pick that up in an instant and call that for offside earlier.
I think it's a little nick off Ezri Konsa. It was probably going across the face of goal, actually. Van Dijk was just trying to steer it across, but it's come off the right side of Konsa and into the side netting. And Liverpool, with 7.5 minutes to go to half-time, have doubled their advantage.
Well, we've been treated to a wealth of opportunities, but the one team that have been more clinical are Liverpool.
And they have their rewards as things stand. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 2. How can Unai Emery respond, and what can he do? Reminder, Philippe Coutinho is back from injury and is amongst the substitutes for Aston Villa today, potentially against his former club, of course, where he scored 54 goals in his 201 appearances. He was adored at Anfield before departing, of course, to Barcelona. That rather hefty transfer fee.
The one thing let this go.
Alexander-Arnold slipping it through. Nunez is inside the penalty area. Left edge, he's got Robertson inside him. Oxlade-Chamberlain is waiting too. Nunez tees it up instead for Thiago at the edge of the box. Chips the ball over. The run being made by Alexander-Arnold, who can't quite stretch his right boot out and keep that alive. And it's out for a goal kick to Aston Villa.
Yeah, good quality. Once again, great movement in behind the back line. Really is. They're breaching the back line every time they play a pass in behind. I've got to say, it is good quality passing though.
Aston Villa have it again, midway inside their own half as they look to find a way back in this game. The support is certainly not dwindling in its vocalness, and Liverpool with plenty coming as well on the far side. Good travelling support as ever. They've made their way down the M6 on Boxing Day, and they lead here, Liverpool, by 2 goals to 0. What can Villa do to inspire their team? Their home record has been decent since the departure of Steven Gerrard. Nunez is after this one, but he lets it go. Henderson's almost done a chip and chase here. He's picked it up again at the edge of the box on the right hand side. Gets it back to Salah on his left foot, edge of the penalty area. Thiago will find Fabinho, and then Alexander-Arnold wants some of the action down that right hand touchline into Salah, who will just slow play right down to walking pace. Here's Fabinho on a charge towards the edge of the box, but then he's circled on and he goes backwards towards Thiago. Right-footed ball lifted out towards Salah. Henderson let it run, and it's cleared by Dean. And here's Buendia on that far side. He's done well to evade 3 green shirts, keeps the ball at his feet, and will look to drive Villa forward from the edge of his own penalty area.
I think that probably sums Villa up when Buendia's best action of this half has been on 40 minutes, and it's been 25 yards from his own goal rather than the opposition's goal.
Yeah, he's been fairly anonymous out of that Villa front line. 4.5 minutes to go to half time, and they're happy just to keep the ball.
I'm not sure the balance of that midfield's right. You've got McGinn out on this side, on the right hand side. He'd prefer to play in the middle. Buendia prefer to play in the middle. He's on the left hand side. I'm not sure the balance is right, and Bailey, who's tucked in, might prefer to be playing on a width.
Well, it's quite a surprising formation. I mean, you asked me pre-game what I thought, and to be fair, I've not seen him play a 4-4-2 here for about 15 years or so. It's always a 4-3-3, but Unai Emery has his own ideas, of course. Certainly against Villarreal, his former side, there was plenty of keeping the ball, but lacking penetration, which we've seen so far in the opening 41 minutes here. Live on Talksport, it's Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 2, of course, earlier today in the Premier League. Brentford 2, Spurs 2, Crystal Palace 0, Fulham 3, Everton 1, Wolves 2, Leicester 0, Newcastle 3, they're flying, and Southampton 1, Brighton 3. Not the best of starts for Nathan Jones at Southampton in his first Premier League game. Paul Tierney's decided there's a free kick here, and the fury around us is because Leon Bailey had gone down on his knees and was over the top of the ball. Two Liverpool players were going to try to get to it, but Paul Tierney's decided actually he was obstructing the ball from them, and it's a free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, fair decision, I think. Robertson's made a reasonable attempt at getting the ball, wasn't a foul, and Leon Bailey's decided to sit on the ball and not move, which in old money, that's a free hit, it's called.
I think they'd have moved if you'd appeared, possibly, in the old days. I was a little disappointed, Stuart. I won't. During the World Cup, I kept seeing photos on Instagram of encounters between the Talksport team and ITV, and I was looking for action shots of you against Roy Keane, but I didn't see any.
Sadly not. I was strapped to a sunbed at the time for both matches.
I noticed you and Jim Proudfoot were the two kind of most obvious absentees from that game.
And we're the biggest cake eaters amongst the troop that had been dispatched out there.
I think I'd have paid good money to see you and Keno on the pitch in Qatar, but...
Well, we had to put Nigel Adderley up against him, and that was the mismatch of the highest order,
I can't possibly comment on any of my colleagues.
Nigel apologised for just walking on the pitch.
Here come Villa down the left-hand side. Here's Buendia on the charge. He's got Watkins inside him, but I think the ball was looking for potentially the run of Bailey that was inside the penalty area and closer to the penalty spot, but didn't find him, and Villa will try and come again on that far side. Boubacar Kamara just turning and twisting. It's towards the edge of the box again, and Bailey slides to get a foot on it at the edge of the penalty area, misses it completely, and Liverpool will come down this left-hand side. And I think probably Jurgen Klopp would just like him to maybe take the sting out a little bit for the final 90 seconds of this first half. There's a problem for Buendia on the far side. Matip's put the ball out of play, but at that point Buendia looks like he's okay, and it will be a throw which I'm sure Villa will give back to Liverpool. Yeah,
just looking at the half-time break now and what that's going to look like for Villa, I'm not sure the shape is right, or the personnel within the shape, more importantly, and I wonder whether there'll be a change there of either personnel or alternatively just tinker with it a little bit.
It felt tactically that playing Watkins ahead of Ings was right, but the one thing that Ings has got right now is he's in form, and he's scoring goals, and of course it's against his former club, which can often help. Here's Nunez down this left-hand side. Young's there. I think that struck Nunez on the hand by accident. They started to appeal, but they play on. Robertson leaves it for Oxlade-Chamberlain, tries to tee that one up towards Henderson, and it was good work from Buendia defensively this time. He did enough to help Villa clear it.
I'll tell you what, David Luiz is more concerned about looking good and doing a dummy on the ball than being effective, either in his challenges or when he receives the ball, and it's being very costly.
Alexander-Arnold's ball in is cleared away again by Konsa, but it went to Henderson with a snap volley from the edge of the box, but it was quite weak and comfortably gathered by Olsen away to our left-hand side. We've into the final few seconds of the first half here at Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 2, live on Talksport. A reminder at 8 tonight, it's Arsenal against West Ham. The leaders are back in action after the World Cup break. They had a few interesting friendlies while the World Cup was taking place. We've got 3 minutes of added time, shown to us by Thomas Bramall, the fourth official down below. And just time for Salah to get on the ball on the far side, which he's doing. And he's pulled back that time by Luca Dean. and it will be a free kick on that far side to Liverpool.
So what Liverpool have done, both fullbacks have pushed on, and they've pushed both effective players on either side right back to do a defensive job. Now what they've got to try and do, Villa, is change the access to that and get their fullbacks or their wide players pinning the left and right back of Liverpool back.
I'm sure there'll be some talk of changes at half time for Unai Emery and his side. Not sure the Ashley Young thing has really worked. He's got caught down this side a few times by Robertson and by Nunez. Not been punished as yet. However, here's the free kick for Liverpool. Probably about 30 yards out, 35 maybe. A couple of yards in from that right touchline, so it's Trent Alexander-Arnold territory. He goes in, Nunez from close range, and Olsen makes the save. And there was no flag on that far side. Again, he beat the offside trap. And from point-blank range, you feel maybe he should have done better.
Well, I think he was just onside. In fact, I'm sure he did. Well, there's no maybe about it. You've got to score from there.
Bailey up the other end for Villa. Final chance for them maybe before half-time. Twisting and turning is Bailey. Bailey on his left foot, gets the cross over to the back post, begins there with a header, nods it back across the face of goal. Nowhere near Watkins, and it's cleared by Fabinho up to halfway. Nunez is there, Konsa gets the header though, and Young will go again, and the crowd will roar them on as we played 2 of the 3 minutes added at the end of this first half by Paul Tierney. Down this right-hand side, McGinn. Surely he should have gone for goal with that header.
Right, I'm astounded he didn't. At this moment in time, both forward lines are too good for both defences, you would say.
Here's Mings on halfway. Last minute of time added on. Douglas Luiz gets it out to Young. McGinn down this right-hand side, on his left foot, pings a ball across to the far touchline. Luca Dean is there. There is support for him, but he goes direct into the penalty area. Tries to come towards Buendia, who got high, and then Salah's there, but he's going to be penalised. And that's a free kick in a good position, and there's the ironic cheers. Referee Paul Tierney penalising Salah, and this free kick maybe a little bit too far out, actually. Looks nearer the 40-yard mark rather than 35.
Yeah, be interesting to see that one again. I thought it was shoulder on shoulder, maybe not. I think he's given him a nudge before the ball was in the vicinity.
Last few seconds then of the 3 added at the end of this first half. Opportunity for Villa. What would they do for a goal right now? Trailing by 2-0, and it's these moments that can sometimes change momentum in games.
Well, this time before half-time, if you get a goal back now, it gives you a massive lift going in at half-time. I think going at 2-0 down and squandered the chances they had.
Douglas Luiz is over it, as is Ashley Young and Luca Dean. Surely he's not going for goal from here. Looks an awful long way out. Does look nearer maybe 35, 37 yards or so. Quite some distance for a direct shot. He just gives it short to Dean, and then Luiz, and then McGinn just tries to chip it in. It's a pre-worked routine, of course, and it's cleared, and Salah now on the charge. Olsen's up towards halfway with a cushioned defensive header, and at that point Paul Tierney puts his whistle to his lips and says enough for a thoroughly entertaining opening 45 minutes here at Villa Park. Mo Salah and also Virgil van Dijk with the goals to give Liverpool a 2-0 advantage, but that doesn't tell half the story. End to end, chances galore, just Liverpool have been the more clinical. Half time at Villa Park, it's Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 2. Thank you, Adrian. Yep, can Villa spark a Spurs-like comeback in the second of 45 minutes? I guess that's the big question. No changes at half time. The same personnel are out, and the same personnel are out for both teams. So let's run you through the lineups. Villa with Olsen in goal. It's Young, Konsa, Mings and Dean across the back. Boubacar Kamara alongside Luiz and McGinn in midfield, with Buendia playing on the right and McGinn playing on the left. Well, that's how they lined up in the first half. Watkins and Bailey will lead the line for Aston Villa today. As for Liverpool, Alisson's in goal. It's Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson, Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago, Salah, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Nunez as well. Referee's Paul Tierney, almost ready to go. Villa then attacking the north stand in this second half. Of course, they always like to shoot towards the Holte end, but Liverpool took that opportunity away from them when they won the toss. And it's immediately Liverpool in the attack down the left-hand side with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, we said at the start, making his first Premier League start since Norwich back in February. Hasn't scored since January against Crystal Palace, but another moment for Oxlade-Chamberlain. First start of the campaign, but only his fourth appearance. Injury ravaged time and time again for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Only his 98th Premier League appearance today. Lovely ball through to Watkins, who looks onside here. Watkins at the edge of the penalty area. Can he finish? Yes, he can. At that point, the flag goes up on the far side. Watkins was through one-on-one with Alisson. He beat him, but the assistant on the far side says he was offside.
Yeah, once again, another really, really close one here. Yeah, it was, but very, very marginally once again. And once again, the Liverpool back line breached, but a good finish on that occasion.
He did try to hold his run, but just had to go when he did. And the pass just a little bit slow in coming. VAR are checking the offside goal, as we can see on our monitors here. And the offside is confirmed. Not really sure. We need lines being drawn there. You and I can see that one perfectly.
Well, the groundsman's drawn some wonderful lines for us, every 6 yards apart.
Salah tries to win it down this near side. It's out for a throw to Liverpool down this right-hand side. Unbeaten in 114 Premier League games when they're ahead at half-time with Liverpool. So it just gives you an idea of the magnitude of the task here for Unai Emery's Aston Villa, if he's going to maintain his unbeaten start to his reign at Villa Park. 2 victories so far, of course, here against Manchester United and then away from home against Brighton, but that's another sloppy pass that Mings has just about saved the day of on this occasion. And he finds Watkins trying to get away from Matic. Now Dean down this left-hand side. What's the quality of the cross going to be? Decent one towards Bailey. Comes down the stooping header from McGinn. No power on it, and safely into the arms of Alisson.
Listen, we're 2 minutes into the half. Already they've had the ball in the back of the net, albeit, marginal offside. And the second one, once again, a poor effort from there. Really poor effort.
McGinn, that time, looks like he's playing in a more central position, is he? Or he's still out on the right wing potentially, but he ghosted in on that occasion.
Yeah, I think he's still out on that flank actually, but as you say, he had enough time to even pull the ball down and take 2 touches.
Long ball forward from Young down that right-hand touchline. Header won by McGinn into Bailey. Bailey down the right-hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. Ball at feet. Looking to take on Robertson, then cuts back on his left foot. Looks to play it to the edge of the penalty area, about a yard away from Buendia, and straight to the feet of Henderson. But they picked it up again here, Villa. It's not the best of balls out wide here by Buendia. Luca Dean has kept it in. We'll try and get the cross away. Buendia with a shot into the side netting after Dean pulled it into the penalty area. That was from about 12 yards out. And again, we've seen the goal ripple, this time the wrong side of the post.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the reasons why Unai Emery has not made any changes at half-time. He's seen his team create enough chances. I'm sure if he wasn't happy with what he's seeing, he'd have made changes. But we're 4 minutes in, 3 minutes in, whatever it may be, and all of a sudden they've had 3 really, really good efforts at Liverpool's goal, and that's the one thing that will give Villa encouragement.
They started very brightly, but then they were bright plenty of occasions through that first half. However, undone by the quality of the chance-taking of Liverpool, with Van Dijk and Mo Salah giving the advantage to Liverpool. Whether it will say a Van Dijk goal, I think over time, is probably questionable. McGinn, left-footed, will hit the drive. It's blocked off at the edge of the penalty area. Kamara has it. Looks to go infield and crossfield to Young. Does it really nicely. Young, didn't see him getting forward at all in the first half. Here he is again down the right-hand side. Looks to get the cross in. Blocked by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Taken down by Thiago, but Young's strong enough to get in the way and wins the free kick for his side. It's off the angle of the penalty area, about 15 yards outside the box on the right-hand side.
Yeah, Villa have probably got their fullbacks both high and wide and advanced, more so in this first part of this half than they have done in the whole of the second half, which is obviously a tactic that they're hoping to employ.
All that experience of Ashley Young paying off to win that free kick. Luca Dean is going across to take it. There's plenty of others in attention, and Douglas Luiz has just moved it back to where he had it before after Luca Dean moved it. No one quite deciding who's taking this. Ashley Young is stepping forward into the penalty area now. Conser and Mings surely are the targets, and surely this will be one for Luca Dean as the dummy run is made. Luca Dean does swing it in but doesn't get it beyond Thiago, who gets up with a really good header out, and Salah away over halfway. Salah's got the pace to get away from Luiz. Mo Salah inside the penalty area, chance to finish for Mo Salah, saved by the keeper, and the follow-up comes back to him and it goes into the side netting after another save from Olsen.
You can't believe the efforts here. 1 minute you're up one end and it's a cross coming in, you think, oh, it's been cleared, and all of a sudden Salah has got his first touch inside his own half, and the electricity in that pace is incredible, and he probably should have pulled it across the face of goal to Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's decided to go for the shot, and then the follow-up was from Conser, I believe.
Well, it's gone wide. It wasn't Salah who got the second touch. Is that Douglas Luiz, actually? I think who got the final touch.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Behind. That was an occasion maybe where he should have played it to Trent Alexander-Arnold. It would have been 3-0. He was arriving at the back post and totally free. Here's Robertson, swings the corner over, good header away from Ollie Watkins, out as far as Thiago, who's lifted that 6 rows back into the Holt end, away to our right-hand side, and no surprise maybe that Thiago hasn't scored for over a year, and he wasn't close to troubling Olsen on that occasion.
When you look at Liverpool's credentials to be successful this year, you think, can you actually be successful by shipping so many efforts at your own goal? You know, and I'd answer the question, probably not, but they're exciting to watch.
And here they come again down the left-hand side. Robertson, chance to cross the ball in, which he does. Henderson was the player that was lurking. Now Fabinho's going to try one from distance, and it's not far wide of the left-hand upright. Olsen was down at full stretch, probably had it covered, and it'll be a goal kick away to our right-hand side.
Fabinho there got the ball on the edge of the box. When he shaped it, just shaped it too wide, not enough curl on the ball, but Olsen wasn't too confident with that ball being outside the post.
Well, when you consider he's now conceded 9 goals in his last 190 minutes of Premier League football, if you add in the game last time out that he played in the Carabao Cup, that figure goes up to 13 in about 280 minutes. So as backup keepers go, not too much confidence, and I think the sooner they get Emi Martinez back, the better. Forward towards Nunez, who can't quite get there with a header. Conser did well, and Mings will go back to Olsen, away to our right hand side. Almost 8 minutes gone in the second half here on Talksport. We are well over halfway in our 10 live Boxing Day commentaries across the Talksport network and across the Talksport app as well. Still to come in the Premier League, of course, we've got Arsenal against West Ham from 8 o'clock. Here come Villa forward though, Leon Bailey, right hand edge of the penalty area, still going on his left foot, looks to cut inside again. Great defending from Andy Robertson though, and then Bailey's done well to win that back though by the corner flag, cuts it across, looking for Watkins and McGinn, but it's cleared away at the near post for Liverpool and picked up now by Douglas Luiz, and he goes back to Mings on halfway. And Aston Villa, well, the atmosphere is lifting again inside Villa Park this Boxing Day. Really has been a cracking game of football so far. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 2. 8.5 minutes played in the second half. And of course we'll get the team news on that game between Arsenal and West Ham, probably in around about 15 minutes time or so, an hour or so before kickoff. Here's McGinn, slipping that one through towards Buendia. Van Dijk comes out to meet it and does well. Henderson and Fabinho exchange little passes in a triangle with Thiago, who then tries to slip it through to Oxlade-Chamberlain, but it's well read by Kamara. And now McGinn, ball at feet, forward to Watkins, lovely little turn from Watkins, slips it through towards Buendia, comes out to Luca Dean at the edge of the box on his right foot, and he gets the shot away that was heading for the far corner, but Alisson can make the save as it comes off that weaker right boot of his.
It's again full effort at Liverpool's goal, and what they need is some encouragement by this little bit of pressure that they built up here, Villa. They need to hit the back of the net to give themselves a chance, because you know full well Liverpool over the duration of the next 30 odd minutes will probably get another goal.
Over on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. 68 minutes have been played between Cardiff City and Queen's Park Rangers. That game is live and it remains 0-0. It will be followed by Luton against Norwich in the Championship as well. Dean Smith, of course, formerly of this parish before being replaced by Steven Gerrard, and maybe saying he could be on his way soon at Norwich. They're not happy with the football despite being in the playoff places. Nunez's cross is a decent one. Thiago takes it down inside the penalty area but can't get it out from under his feet, and now the counter-attack is on from Aston Villa. This is end-to-end stuff right now. Buendia, though, just doesn't allow it to continue and just checks back inside, but now Konsa has set Young away down the right-hand side. He's up towards halfway. Bailey was trying to make the run. He waited. Now he'll go through. Now he's onside. Bailey in the box. Gets it over towards Watkins. Well, it looks like a cross. It could have been a shot. In the end, it was probably neither, and it's out for a goal kick.
Could have been a shot, could have been a cross, maybe it was a pass. It was one of the 8 above. I've no idea what was going through his head there. You've really, when you get in and breach there, you've really got to have confidence and affect the opposition by getting out your feet and driving it at the goal, or alternatively being really positive. There was that seed of doubt, and it's probably been built up through the lack of confidence in front of goal for the last 50 odd minutes.
It's funny when you look through and see the amount of money that's been spent on some of these forward players for Aston. I mean, Buendia being the perfect example. His 51st league appearance today for the club. £33 million they paid for him. Just 5 goals for Aston Villa in the return. The same with Bailey, as I mentioned earlier. Not enough goals for players. This was Stephen Gerrard's comment. These are the players I need to affect games.
You're not going to lead on to the immortal statement, cows, arse and banjo, are you, you know?
I will leave that for you.
I wouldn't dream of saying that on air.
Edge of the penalty area with Virgil van Dijk. That was Stuart Pearce, by the way, who's alongside me at Villa Park. Just distance myself from that in case the boss is listening. Infield is Buendia here on halfway. Slips that one through towards Luiz. Now down this left-hand side is Dean. Dean with a chance to cross there for the first time. Watkins lets it run. Oh, and Bailey on his right foot just completely miskicks it. They'll keep it alive with McGinn on that far side, and it's going to run out of play. Is it? No, Young's going to stay there. Young has possession of the ball. Back to Bailey again. Maybe he won't miss kick this time. Edge of the box, 20 yards from goal. Left-footed ball, pinged out to Dean again down this left-hand side. Gets it back across. Douglas Luiz inside the box. Challenge from Matip. Hits Luiz. Goes out of play for a goal kick. Everyone put your earmuffs on. I think Stuart Pearce is about to let go about Leon Bailey.
I stick to my earlier comment, which I will not repeat. That was probably, arguably, the best effort of the goal of the game, certainly for him. And as it bounced up, just that real lack of confidence and belief in himself to score a goal and get it on target. And you know as well as I, the crowd will be saying, why isn't Ings playing? He would have scored that.
Exactly. And I mean, here's a guy that before the break had scored 2 in 4 in the Premier League and looked like maybe he was just running into a bit of form. Douglas Luiz, Ollie Watkins with a header! And Aston Villa have scored! And it's Ollie Watkins! He's been out of form with just 1 in 12 prior to today in the Premier League. But it's Ollie Watkins this Boxing Day that gets Villa back in the game. And with 32 minutes remaining, it's Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 2.
I tell you what, whatever you say about Ollie Watkins, I think he's led the line for Villa. I said it was really important for him and his match-up with Matip. Matip lost him there. He got in that access between Matip and Trent Alexander, which is an Achilles heel for Liverpool, and it's game on.
Well, I mentioned this is the most popular scoreline in this fixture. Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 2, but the way these two are going at it, if it stays at just the 3 goals, I'll be quite surprised.
I've got to say as well, looking at the replay of that, I thought he was just going to flop it down, the goalkeeper get on it, but the angle of where he put it just inside the post, put it back where it come from, and totally flat-footed Alisson.
We could be in for a barnstorming last half an hour here at Villa Park. Live and exclusive to National Radio on Talksport. Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 2, a 3rd Premier League goal of the season for Ollie Watkins. Here's Buendia now, down this left-hand side. He's muscled out of it by Henderson and by Fabinho, but then the help from Buendia arrives. Watkins has gone down, but Villa have possession. They'll play on just over halfway with Young. Young tries to slip a ball through for Douglas Luiz, who is charging forward. Trent Alexander-Arnold was going to try and leave it to run out of play, but in the end has to clear. Henderson will chip it towards Nunez. Salah tries to run onto it, but Luca Dean will pick it up. Here's Thiago though, striding forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Step over from Thiago. Nunez inside the box on his right foot. Darwin Nunez tries to unload the shot. Does he know? He looks for Mo Salah at the other side of the penalty area. Oh, and Salah gets it back because there's dallying inside the box from Luca Dean. But in the end, Villa do get it away. John McGinn, Ollie Watkins just holds his run, picks up the ball. He's got Buendia ahead of him. Bailey's there as well. Ollie Watkins on the charge. Comes to McGinn. John McGinn on his left foot. Shot is blocked by Henderson at the edge of the penalty area. And Matip will try and bring it clear. But in the meantime, we've got a Villa player down. It's Dean who's down at the edge of the penalty area. Matip still going forward. And in the end, Kamara comes across, slides it into touch so he can get some treatment, and the ball's out of play and we can take a breath.
Well, you know what? I thought, coming back from that warm climb to come and watch a Premier League game, I thought, what's going to be the come down watching a Premier League game? This game has been absolutely sensational. Goal efforts at both ends continually incredible, and I'm not sure what Digne was doing then in the box, and there's players collapsing, and Oxlade-Chamberlain fell over, and wow.
Ollie Watkins has got the bit between his teeth now as well. You would say after that goal, amazing what a goal does for your confidence, isn't it?
Well, I think his general play's been really good. I really do. I think his movement's been good, the way he's threatened Liverpool behind the line. And the one thing that Liverpool do, they'll give you a chance. And the game's in the balance now.
Naby Keita is going to be coming on, I think, for Liverpool in a moment or two. Looks like some action down on the bench. They have the throw down the right, though, with Alexander-Arnold. On to Henderson. And Salah tries to win it in a tight situation right on this near touchline, but Luca Dean gets in and manages to win the throw for Villa, and he'll launch it forward down this near touchline. Matip wins the header before Watkins can get there, and Villa will have another throw, and Tyrone Mings thought about taking it quickly, but Luca Dean will take it at the edge of the penalty area down this near touchline. It is Naby Keita who will be coming on for Liverpool. Oxlade-Chamberlain goes in to try and win that against Douglas Luiz. Now Fabinho heads it on. Salah inside the box, right hand edge, just going to feed it out to Henderson. Henderson chips it towards the back post. Darwin Nunez is there. Little touch on it that time though from Ashley Young to take it away from him. Robertson then tries to play it through, goes down. It'll be a goal kick to Villa away to our right hand side.
Yeah, another great ball into the box, and the fullbacks getting forward continually here. Villa getting their fullbacks forward is certainly creating a lot of things. Digne, his best work potentially. I like him as a fullback defensively, but certainly he's very effective in getting forward.
Here's Watkins at the edge of the centre circle. Bailey's on the run in front of him. McGinn has got space on that right hand side. On his left foot, McGinn. When Dia's in space, he tries to play the 1-2 with Watkins. It was well read by Robertson, and Liverpool can come clear from the edge of their own penalty area. Given away though. Here's McGinn, 25 yards out, cries of shoot. Douglas Luiz, Luca Dean, edge of the box on his right foot towards McGinn. Header away by Van Dijk, who's got the height advantage and the timing advantage on that occasion. Here's Douglas Luiz again, helps it on its way to Buendia, edge of the box, takes it down. It was a difficult ball to control. He did incredibly well, the Argentinian, to get it down. Here's Luca Dean down this left hand side, back once more to Tyrone Mings. Unai Emery is stretched out with his left arm with his glove, and he's crouching and pointing in a Mike Dean style actually away to our right hand side every time he gave a penalty. But his side are on the attack, and it's towards Buendia, comes down to Dean left hand edge of the penalty area, about 8 yards out, sips it across. McGinn must shoot inside the box, surely, goes down, wants the penalty, referee's not interested. Mings will pick it up again. Here's Ashley Young, they're camped inside the Liverpool penalty area on the far side. Left footed ball swung over by Bailey, headed away by Matip, and it comes to Kamara at the edge of the box again. Now it's Douglas Luiz. Henderson closes him down. Luca Dean out wide on this left hand side. Villa have got Liverpool penned in towards Watkins, and McGinn can't find him. Henderson will give him a bit of respite, maybe, but Nunez loses it. Thiago's there, and now it's Mo Salah against Ashley Young in a foot race. Olsen comes out to help, and he punts it high into the night sky in Birmingham, in Britain's second city. And in the meantime, down the left hand side, Salah's coming again for Liverpool. Salah across towards Nunez, and Olsen will gather at the edge of his 6-yard box. Stuart Pearce.
Well, the game is frenetic now, and Villa have got to keep flooding forward, getting players forward, getting the overloads. Digne's got to keep getting up the pitch and creating the overload on this side.
What a game of football. You're listening to Aston Villa against Liverpool on Talksport with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports 18+, stream via the internet, and terms apply. Well offside, Leon Bailey. That's going to be a flag up. It's going to be a free kick, and now I think Liverpool can make the two changes that they want to, which will be the introduction of Naby Keita and Harvey Elliott. Thiago is the first of the players who is going to be withdrawn by Jurgen Klopp, and the second of those will be Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah, I think if I was Villa, I would be certainly very keen on getting Matty Cash on the pitch to get up and get advanced, probably for Ashley Young. I think it'll give you a bit more going forward, potentially from full-back areas. And then it's going to be the throw of the dice whether you bring Ings on and how that looks in the midfield behind that.
Well, just as you say that, Danny Ings wanders down this near touchline. Looks like he is warming up, maybe with some intent, we shall see. Cameron Archer as well amongst these substitutes, warming up as Harvey Elliott enters the fray. And Naby Keita as well. Keita's appearances this season very limited. This is his first in the Premier League, in fact. We saw him in the Community Shield and the EFL Cup on Thursday night. They're his only appearances of the campaign. But he's on, and he'll be on for the last, 24 minutes of what is a pulsating game. Talk about a feast of football today. We love Boxing Day, but as it's the day the Premier League has returned, it's an absolute treat. The perfect gift, you may say. Here's Alexander-Arnold down this right-hand side. Over halfway he finds Salah. Salah back into the feet of Alexander-Arnold. Here's Keita with one of his first touches since arriving on the pitch. Alexander-Arnold will then ping it to the far side towards Harvey Elliott, who just lets it run to Robertson. And Elliott will take up that wide position of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's, although it almost is a licence to roam freely, which Oxlade-Chamberlain was doing throughout the game. He's done well to go 67 minutes and a good performance as well. Here's Alexander-Arnold. Henderson down the right hand side into the feet of Salah. Back to Fabinho on halfway. Liverpool just taking a moment to keep control of the football and take a little bit of the sting out of the Aston Villa attack, which was fairly relentless for 5 or 6 minutes, and it's in the arms of Olsen again away to our right hand side.
Yeah, I think Villa have got to try and keep the momentum and the tempo of this game. Liverpool will be happy now just to break the momentum up, keep a bit of possession and push Villa back. But Villa, as I say that, Tyrone Mings is sort of taking an eternity to move the ball across the back line.
He is. Esri Konsa now has it though with a little more purpose. To the right hand side he finds Ashley Young in those bright yellow boots, who pings a long ball that will be gathered comfortably by Alisson. It's currently Villa 1, Liverpool 2, and for the latest odds head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Villa at 14-1 to win. The draw is 15-4 and Liverpool are 4-1 on. That's all thanks to Betfair. 18+, begambleaware.org. The ball is at the feet of Alisson away to our left hand side. Let's get the team news ahead of our next exclusive Premier League commentary at the Emirates. For us is Joe Shannon.
Two changes for either side. Arsenal starting Ketia for the injured Jesus. Tierney replaces Zinchenko. For West Ham, Zuma is out injured, so too is Skamaka. Sofal and Antonio, the two to come in.
That's live with Joe from 8 o'clock here on Talksport. The last of today's 7 live and exclusive National Premier League commentaries for you. 3 more to come over the next 2 nights as well, of course. And a reminder from the Championship, we've got Luton against Norwich over on Talksport 2 from 7:45 as well. The perfect present from us to you this Christmas, courtesy of Talksport. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold down this right hand side in towards Henderson, back towards Fabinho, and now it's Alexander-Arnold again from this near touchline. Pings a crossfield ball into the penalty area. Young's there to chest it down, and Olsen can't keep it in. He strides and stretches out that right boot of his, the Swede, but it goes behind, and it'll be a corner to Liverpool on that far side. And they just seem to have weathered the Villa storm here.
Yeah, what they've done, the substitutes have just killed the momentum of the game. Klopp's 2 substitutes, and it's made it a little bit more solid. And as I say, it's one of those that Villa need to try and wrestle back the momentum of this game.
Here's the corner down that left hand side for Liverpool. Robertson will take. Alexander-Arnold is the only player that's not inside that penalty area. Matip tries to get up and get on the end of it, but it comes out to Keita. Keita down the right-hand side will find Henderson. Henderson onto his left foot, then lays it into Salah inside the box. Salah back to Naby Keita, who drills one. High, wide, but not particularly handsome.
We're right behind that, and watching him address the ball, you thought he's got absolutely no chance of getting on target.
Not quite the old hammer of your left foot, obviously. To be said, that was with his right and looked way out of control. Here's Bailey into the penalty area. Matip will head it clear. Edge of the box, Buendia holds it up nicely. Just tries to flick it to Watkins. It'll run out of play off Fabinho, and it'll be a throw to Villa. Level with the edge of the penalty area, right down in front of us as they attack the North Stand in this second half. Turned around at the start of the game by Liverpool and Jordan Henderson. Not attacking their beloved Holt End in the second period as they so love to do. Long ball punted forward here by Konza. Alexander Arnold will head it clear, only as far as Buendia, who's 25 yards from goal. On this left-hand side, in towards Watkins, who's trying to hold it up and just keep Matip at bay with his outstretched arms. But they did well there, and Matip managed to defend it. It goes back to halfway, and Ashley Young is there again, down that right-hand side. Young, 37 years of age now. 12th Premier League appearance of the season, 8th start for him as well on a milestone day. Here's Luca Dean down this left-hand touchline. Back to Mings once more. Had an early knock on his knee, but no ill effects after Liverpool had scored that first goal. His movement did seem a little impeded when Mo Salah was putting Liverpool in front in the 5th minute of this game. Right-hand side, here's McGinn onto that left foot of his, 25 yards out on the far touchline, but again, he'll go back to Ashley Young, and it's a patient build-up. Unai Emery almost doing the splits down in his technical area there, crouching and pointing. And forward it goes again, this time to Bailey with a chance to run. Ball at feet. He's got Watkins ahead of him, too much on the pass. And in the end, it's up in the air for Matip, and Watkins with a little touch. And the touch on Alisson was enough to cause the free kick after Alisson had punched the ball behind. Portini not happy.
I think we've got pantomime season here. You know, I'm not sure what the striker has done, but the goalkeeper has had a woeful punch. That's, well, I don't know whether he's trying to catch it or punch it, but it went behind him.
This new goalkeeping technique of rubbing the ribs afterwards as well, to say he's had a sly dig. We saw that from Hugo Lloris in the World Cup final. There's always a little dig been had to the keeper. I would feel sorry for him if they weren't endangered species, which seems to always be the case. Good defending again by Ashley Young. He's come much more into the game in the second half. His leadership qualities were needed by Villa.
Yeah, both him and Digne have got themselves forward, and the access, the key to the game for Villa is keep getting the ball to Digne, who's right in front of us, because Buendia is occupying Trent Alexander.
Buendia over the top to Watkins, who goes between Matip and Van Dijk. Well, he was the meat in that Liverpool sandwich, and he's gone down, but the referee viewed it as more of a turkey than anything, and he's not been given the free kick on. Olsen's almost caught in his own 6-yard box. Nunez slid in, managed to get it away, and extraordinarily there's a counter on here for Villa on the far side, but Van Dijk gets the better of Bailey, and Keita will go back towards Alisson, who clears first time. He didn't need to, he had time. And here's Buendia now down the left-hand side. Here come Villa. Villa Park raises its voices, and they start banging on the metal around us, but the final pass again not up to scratch.
He's just got to stride the ball out to Digne, who's got Trent Alexander, and Trent Alexander's body language is, I don't really want to come and defend you, I want to tuck in here and be nice and tight to my central defender.
Far side, they have possession again. Aston Villa inside the Liverpool half. It was Bailey that time. McGinn's taken up the forward position that time. Bailey's gone wide on the right. Stewart's just encouraging Tyrone Mings with his outstretched right hand here to give the ball to Luca Dean.
I'm looking at Tyrone Mings and Louise, and they're more intent in looking good than being good. That's their biggest problem.
Very casual as Young plays that down the right hand side now. Bailey will look to cut it on that left foot of his, 25 yards from goal. Had an option to go direct towards the edge of the penalty area. Instead he's worked his way back towards halfway. He though will find Luca Dean, who comes inside, edge of the box, left footed, just gives it to Louise. They'll hold possession here, Villa, and find Young on the right hand side. Now down that right hand touchline, Young again backs inside to Kamara. Here's Buendia, tries the little flick towards Watkins at the edge of the penalty area. Looked like he was trying to turn his defender, and now Nunez is away here. A foot race against Konsa. Nunez inside the box. Nunez with a chance, and he's put it about 3 yards wide of the left-hand post. He had the beating of Konsa for pace. Olsen come out, but he's fluffed his lines again, and no wonder there's a Liverpool fan with her head in her hands.
Aston Villa are the architects of their own downfall. They don't believe, they're not putting the ball into areas and being effective, and then when the turnover comes, I'm not sure what Konsa's looking at. I mean, Nunez has made a run from 10 yards in front of him and he's not seen it, and he's got him behind him, and then when it's a foot race, he's never ever going to catch him.
Thoughts of Stuart Pearce alongside me, Adam Bridge here on Talksport at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 2. Adrian Durham will round things up once we're done, of course, before we head off to the Emirates. That game between Arsenal and West Ham gets underway at 8 o'clock, and it's the last of our 7 live Premier League commentaries for you today across the Talksport network. We have 3 more for you the rest of the week. Tomorrow night, Chelsea against Bournemouth is underway at 5:30. That's followed by Manchester United against Nottingham Forest, and then on Wednesday it's Leeds against Manchester City. We've got EFL action on Thursday night as we go around the grounds, and on Friday more live Premier League football exclusive, West Ham against Brentford and Liverpool against Leicester, and then 2 more games on Saturday too. A proper week of Premier League football to welcome the Premier League back, live and exclusive to national radio here on Talksport, on the wireless, of course, your smart speaker, and also the app too. Dean gets it into Buendia at the edge of the box, tries to flick it with the outside of his right foot through to Watkins, intercepted well that time though by Matip. They've got it back though. Mings is on the overlap this time. Dean goes into the penalty area. The diving header from Bailey. I think he may have been caught by the boot of Robertson, and it's a head injury, so immediately Paul Tierney does call on the assistant and stops play.
Well, once again, the ball comes out to Digne here. If they supply him a little bit earlier, all of a sudden, as you could see then, he gets the ball goes into Buendia, and all of a sudden they're in behind Liverpool's back line. But all you've got to say to the players is just hit diagonals into Digne, who stood on the touchline saying, give me the ball.
Yeah, Robertson's definitely caught the head on that occasion of Leon Bailey, who was diving in for the challenge. Cardiff City against Queen's Park Rangers. That game almost done over on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL, of course. Couple of changes coming here. 2 more for Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold is going off, and Joe Gomez is coming on, who may want to do a little bit more defending.
The Liverpool managers just give Villa a clue of where they should be putting the ball. They've just took the right back off.
I do sometimes wonder why more teams, particularly when they go to Anfield, just don't attack Alexander-Arnold all the time. It feels maybe too obvious. I don't know.
Well, if it's too obvious, it's obvious.
Absolutely. It's another change as well. We're going to see the youngster coming on, Stefan Bajcetic from Celta Vigo, the young Spaniard, just 18 years of age. He's entering the fray along with Gomez. Henderson and Alexander-Arnold are the 2 players who depart. Bajcetic will sit in there with Keita and Fabinho, just 18. And treatment being done here for Leon Bailey.
This is the last thing that Villa need, one of their players going down. You know, all of a sudden the game stops and it's a Villa player breaking the game up, which is the last thing they need to do.
Henderson on his way off. Looks like he's had a little bit of a chat with some of the Villa fans on this near side around us. Spice of the Premier League back as well, of course. 11, just over 11 minutes to play, plus time to be added on here. I'm not sure I want this to stop. Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 2 is where we stand. Stuart's thinking, I would quite like to go home at some point. I'm only up the road. So.
I'm enjoying it, don't worry about that. I can put up with a drive if the quality's this good.
Exceptional game of football, which we hoped and thought it would be. Here's Konsa for Villa inside the centre circle. Can they get out of this with a point? Or maybe more. Ball through to Watkins. Lovely takedown in the box with his outstretched right boot. And it needed Matip to be on his money. Both he and Van Dijk were around him, and they make the clearance. Bailey is back on, and on the other side he's got the ball, the far side, on his left foot. Gives it to Douglas Luiz, who's just muscled out of it by Keita. And it's a throw on the far side for Liverpool, midway inside their own half.
Yeah, it's certainly a move. Gomez coming in at right back, probably more defensively adept potentially, and his job now is going to make sure that he picks up Dina, I think, and someone else picks up Buendia.
Interesting that Unai Emery has not made a change. Must be very happy with the way things are working right now for Villa. As Gomez lifts one forward, Nunez takes it down inside the box, gets to the byline, cuts it back across. Olsen makes the first stop. It comes up with Bajcetic with a shot, deflected it in. The substitute makes an impact, and Liverpool surely have won the points now. They lead by 3 goals to 1, and it's Stefan Bajcetic, the 18-year-old, only his second Premier League appearance, and he's on target with a deflected shot to make it Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 3.
I've got to say, I mean, I've only watched it once. I'm looking forward to the replay. I don't know what Concer's looking at. I picked him up earlier on that Nunez one when he had chance to pick up the run, and on that occasion again, I don't know where he's looking for the ball. All of a sudden I'm thinking, do you know there's danger in behind you? The answer to the question is probably not. He's looking for his goalkeeper to come and help bail him out, and all of a sudden from that moment on they're in big trouble and playing catch up.
No, it's gone through the legs of Mings in the end. I mean, that's good from the youngster, isn't it? Just 18 years of age, through Mings' legs at the near post. You're expecting better of Mings there, aren't you?
Well, both central defenders. Consus knows that there's a player on his outside shoulder, but as it goes up in the air, instead of getting back and getting goal side and re-defending it, he's looking and hoping his goalkeeper's going to help him out, and then Mings should have done better.
Well, Jurgen Klopp makes a couple of changes to try and shore things up a little more defensively, and he snatches a third goal for Liverpool, who lead here now by 3 goals to 1 with 8.5 minutes remaining. Here's Nunez with a shot. Olsen low down to his right, gets the save, and Young will clear because he didn't quite push it out of play. He's at the edge of his own penalty area. Harvey Elliott's there, blocks it off, and it runs out for what will be a goal kick. You're listening to Aston Villa against Liverpool on Talksport with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. We're into the last 8 minutes here. Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 3. A reminder, it's finished between Cardiff and Queen's Park Rangers 0-0. Not quite the Boxing Day bonanza we've had here at Villa Park, but hopefully Luton against Norwich, which is up next live on Talksport 2, will be certainly more goal laden, you would hope, with Luton and Norwich going toe-to-toe this Boxing Day evening at Kenilworth Road. That game live on Talksport 2, which you can get via your digital radio, or of course just by downloading that Talksport app from your usual app provider. It is very simple to do, and it will make your life easy because you can just swipe between all of our games, and boy, are there a lot coming up in the next week or so across the Talksport network. Matip down the right, finds Gomez infield towards Salah, but well read by Douglas Luiz. Here's McGinn spinning and turning inside the centre circle. He was waiting for the foul and the challenge from Keita, not given by Paul Tierney. Here's Nunez inside the penalty area, brilliant from Ashley Young. Salah picks it up though, inside the box. Salah goes outside down that left hand side, Robertson towards the byline, and the attempted clearance came off Robertson and into the arms of Olsen. Fortunate for Aston Villa.
It certainly was, and once again it was Nunez and Nunez's movement causing Concert untold problems.
Coutinho and Dendoncker are about to enter the fray for Aston Villa. Down below, still no sign of Danny Ings, who we thought we may see, unless he's tucked away in the dugout and is about to arrive in what would be the third of a triple change for Unai Emery as we enter the last 6.5 minutes here. Throw down the left-hand side for Aston Villa. Yeah, Ings is getting ready just down below, so it'll be Ings, Coutinho and Dendoncker, the 3 changes coming for Villa. Here's Salah at the edge of the penalty area, couldn't quite get on the end of it. Another goal tonight, of course, and he'll move ahead of King Kenny in the goal scoring charts for Liverpool. Moved level with that first earlier tonight, 7th now on the all-time list. Here's Keita sliding in, winning a good challenge. Here's Salah, edge of the penalty area, on his left foot, tries to just feed that through to Nunez. It was intercepted, and there's a foul on camera from the goal scorer, Bajcetic, and it's going to be a free kick for Aston Villa. And here come those 3 changes then. Coutinho, Dendoncker and Ings are the 3 who will enter the pitch for the home side.
Yeah, you always had that impression that Liverpool had the ability to get a third, and probably these 3 subs needed to be made prior to that third hit in the back of the net to really give a little bit of momentum, I think.
And it's going to be a sacrifice in midfield, which is no great surprise. Camera's coming off, the command should I say, and Ings is going to replace Buendia. Then Donker is on already, and Coutinho coming too, and Leon Bailey will depart as well. So now the three changes for Aston Villa, and another change as well coming for Liverpool. We'll see the introduction of Ben Doak, who was signed from Celtic back in March for £600,000. The Scots youngster is just 17 years of age, and he will come on shortly for Liverpool. They can bring in the youngsters off the bench today. Here's Konsa, just teasing with Nunez. I thought there may have been a little more urgency to get the ball forward for Villa. We're into the final 5 minutes here. They trail by 3-1. Forward by Olsen. Flicked on that time by Watkins. Only as far as Matip though. Matip to Gomez down this near side. And a lovely bit of skill, but Mings is going to be there to clean that one up for Villa towards Ings. Van Dijk gets the header, nodded forward down this near side by Luca Dean. Coutinho, lovely little flick against his former side. Dean tries to go through. There's a handball there by Matip. I think there may have been a handball by each of them actually, and Portini decides they were both accidental, and Harvey Elliott then will give it to Robertson down that left hand side. Robertson striding forward, Nunez down on the left, he's got Salah inside the penalty area. Nunez charging into the box, tries to get beyond Young, looks to cut it back onto his right foot, which he does, and the shot's not driven from the edge of the box. Coutinho is there with a challenge, and there's a foul right at the edge of the penalty area as they try to bring it clear with Douglas Luiz, and it will be a free kick for Villa. And time-wise, we're into the last 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, well, we've had 4 goals. There's probably been another at least 6 opportunities to get goals, and I'm being very conservative with that estimation, I've got to say.
Nunez is the player that will depart. Ben Doak will come on. He's an attacking midfielder. He made his debut against Derby in the Carabao Cup, and the youngster will come on in a moment for Liverpool. But Nunez certainly not taking his time, or certainly is taking his time. And Stuart, overall, Nunez, frustrating to watch, I would say, as well as probably frustrating for him, the positions he's got himself into tonight.
Yeah, I think there's parallels between him and Watkins. I think their movement's been really good. They've caused their respective defenders problems, there's no doubt about that, but they've not been as clinical in the finishing as they should have been. They look like two strikers that are just short of a little bit of confidence. On another day, either could have got a hat-trick.
A lot of backslapping in the Liverpool dugout. I think they're aware that he got himself into really good positions time and time again without managing to find the back of the net. So another day will come for Darwin Nunez. Didn't add to his 5 Premier League goals this evening. That's poor from Villa, and it's picked up by Salah on halfway. And Liverpool happy to keep the ball. Bajcetic going back to Matip. Van Dijk has it. Here's Keita out wide to that left-hand side. Robertson's there, helping it on to Harvey Elliott, and Liverpool happy to keep the ball. Keita is there. Watkins tries to close down the pass to Alisson, but nowhere near at the time the pass was played. Konsa lifts it forward, but there's Salah on halfway. Konsa committed himself into the opposition half. Little shirt ball on Salah, and eventually, but a nibbling there from Konsa. Salah goes down, and the free kick goes the way of Liverpool inside the centre circle. Just over 42,000 here at Villa Park, but many have already headed for the exit, certainly among the home supporters. Plenty of empty blue seats, and that began when that third Liverpool goal hit the back of the net. Prior to that, well, they were very much in this game and for long periods on top. Dokes away down this right-hand side. That's brilliant from the youngster as he's inside the penalty area. Goes towards the byline, takes on Mings, tries to get the crossover, but he'll take the corner, and no wonder Jurgen Klopp is clapping the 17-year-old.
Yeah, I'll be delighted with that. Just a little let it go, went through Dinia's legs, but more importantly got Liverpool up the pitch, got them a corner, and probably knocked another 2 minutes off the clock.
In about 40 minutes time, of course, at the Emirates, there'll be kick-off between the league leaders Arsenal against West Ham. That game live and exclusive to national radio here on Talksport. You have the team news, that'll be recapped once we're done here, and then the Emirates will be our destination for our final live Premier League commentary of the day. But have no fear, 3 more coming in the next 2 days here on Talksport. Left-footed ball swung in by Robertson, is gathered by Olsen at the edge of his 6-yard box, who immediately is looking for an outlet and an option, but there isn't any. So he just takes his time and will allow Conser to bring it forward. And a chorus of Stephen Gerrard rings out on the far side. Of course, removed as manager of Aston Villa after their defeat against Fulham. Prior to today, they'd taken 9 points from 12 since he left. So that this could be a first defeat under Unai Emery in his 3rd game in charge in the Premier League. First touch for Ings since he came on as a substitute. We're into 4 minutes added on at the end of this game. Here's Salah on halfway. Good challenge from Conser again. Matip will go over the top though. Salah trying to get away, bounces off his chest, he just slips, and it allows time for Young to move across from the right back position and sweep up for Aston Villa. Down the left hand side, Luca D up towards Coutinho. Gomez goes in for the challenge. There's a few challenges flying in on halfway, and Portini says play on. And the young Scots to Doak again down this right hand side will go again. Salah tries to win it back. Conser at the edge of his own penalty area, and Aston Villa have a mere 3 minutes left in stoppage time to try and score 2 goals. Highly unlikely against this Liverpool side, who seem incredibly comfortable in possession of the ball now. Luiz out to the right hand side, back to Dendoncker, another of the Aston Villa substitutes. He tries to play Watkins in, headed away by Van Dijk. The pass not getting beyond the Dutch stopper, and it's Robertson who will go back to Alisson, away to our left hand side. Alisson with his right foot gets it forward only as far as D. Now Coutinho has a chance maybe to make something happen. Without a goal or an assist since the final game of last season against Manchester City. He was the big signing, the big player, the big arrival on the big wages, who has failed to deliver so far for Aston Villa. Here's Luiz into Dendoncker again. He'll stride forward, left foot, plays it out to the far touchline. McGinn's there, edge of the penalty area, on his left foot, gets that one back in field to Young. Now it's McGinn on the charge, on the left foot again, plays in early, Dendoncker with a dummy. Watkins tried to get there, Van Dijk wanted the foul, nothing doing. Luca Dean goes down, and now Liverpool will break down the right hand side with Doak. He's got support from Salah, but I'm sure he'll just run to the corner flag maybe. Cuts in field, still with the ball at feet. He's going to take on Luca Dean, who makes a really good challenge, and we've got 2 minutes of added time left to play here. Coutinho forward to Watkins, comes down towards McGinn, is picked up by Danny Ings. Ings is closed down by Fabinho. Ings into Watkins, tries to turn and get it away, can't quite manage it, comes out as far as Dendoncker, and the foul has been given. The challenge on Watkins from Harvey Elliott, and it's a free kick to Aston Villa.
I think Unai Emery has probably got a similar type of equation, if you like, as Stephen Gerrard. I think he's got a decent squad of players here, but it's fitting them all in a team ethic that suits all the players and suits the team dynamic as well. They've been effective today, up until probably putting the ball in the back of the net on occasion, but the balance of the team just doesn't look, clear cut to me.
Here's the free kick. Douglas Luiz has it. It's about 40 yards out from goal, and it's on his right foot. Ings is inside the penalty area, as is Watkins. Then Dendoncker lurking on the edge, and Liverpool with a line at the edge of that penalty area as well. Van Dijk gets the header up and away. Conser tries to win it. Dean will load it back in towards that back post. Watkins with the header knocks it down. Nearly came to Mings, out as far as McGinn on that far side. McGinn now will load that one back inside the penalty area, and now a chance for Doak to get away down this right hand side. Goes early to try and find Salah, but he's sliced his ball towards the corner. Young goes across and does well, and he gets it back to Olsen. And now a chance for Mings as we enter the last 30 seconds of this game, and it's with Mings just short of halfway on this near touchline. Coutinho's up ahead of him, goes infield that time to Dean, and now Coutinho away down the left hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. Felipe Coutinho against his former team, and he runs into Matip, and Keita will get it away, and Paul Tierney says that's it. Well, it's been a cracker at Villa Park this Boxing Day, but Liverpool have got the better of it yet again for a 16th time at Villa Park in the Premier League. They go away with all 3 points. Mo Salah in the 5th minute with the first after great play from Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. Van Dijk with a poke goalwards following a mess of the corner. Slightly controversial in the build-up, they were offside, but Van Dijk with a deflected shot to make it 2-0. Ollie Watkins pulled one back. Villa had good opportunities in the second half to try and level this game up. But it was Stefan Bajcetic, the substitute, 9 minutes before the end, just 17 years of age, 18 years of age, signed from Celta Vigo in February 2021. Only his second Premier League appearance, and it's his goal that's taken the points this Christmas, this Boxing Day for Liverpool. And a big smiling Jurgen Klopp goes past. A first defeat for Unai Emery, but a cracking game. Full time at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 3.